Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Nier. In the last episode we defeated the boss of the Baron Temple and became friends with the king and Fira. Now we heard some mysterious words about the Forest of Myth, if I remember correctly. And it seems I'm gonna ask Pobola about it right now. And here we go. What's up, Pobola? Oh, hi, Arx. I just got a strange letter in the mail. Dearest Pobola, I hope this letter finds you well. I am writing in hopes of bringing to your attention a certain dream issue of concern regarding recent events in Dream the Village. But I was hoping I might be able to get your advice on the matter, but reads very strangely. Recently there have been dream reports, dream of a certain dream of dream, or evil, dream empty, dream curse, dream evil, dream words, dream and dream someone, dream. That is certainly one bizarre piece of writing. Indeed it is. Yeah, it's strange, alright. Who's it from? The mayor of a small village in the Forest of Myth. It's a wooded area up north. The Forest of Myth? They are a bright and talkative group of people. Something like this is very out of character for them. I have a bad feeling about this. I'll check it out. You will, but don't worry about it. I've got business there anyway. Oh well, alright, thank you. Well, this is gonna be interesting. So let's follow the red cross again. I'm sorry. Okay, we gotta cross the bridge again. Broken pottery. Another broken sword? Alright. I wonder if something's up here. Let's take a look. No. Nothing. I wonder if I can defeat it now. Let's try. Yep, it should be possible. Let's use the lance for this one. Yep, that looks like a charge. God damn it, that thing is fast. But it doesn't kill me with one hit anymore. What the hell was that? Finally! We can turn in that quest. Obtained boar meat. Alrighty then, let's go to the Forest of Myth. It's actually one of my favorite areas in this game. Leather clothes. There. Now let's go in.
Sure is quiet here.
Such silence bodes ill. There's trouble on the way. I'm sure of it.
That's what I love about you, Vice. You're such an optimist.
That's cheek.
Beware. Beware the words. The words? What do you mean? Contagious words. Those who dream. Those who dream? Hold a moment, there's a strange new sensation in my mind. Vice's voice rose in a quizzical way. It is not quizzical. What's going on here? The villager's body shuddered as he slowly opened his eyes. Perhaps we should start by asking this man. Who are you? I am Arxas. This is Vice. We heard something happened to this village, so we came to see if we could help. The villager stared at Arx and Vice. If you can speak to me, I must have caught you in my dream. Ask that again? The villager explained. In the past weeks, a mysterious disease called the Death Dream had spread across the Forest of Myth. Those who caught it were cursed to fall asleep and live forever within the world of their own dreams. The village mayor had determined that the death dream was spread from person to person by spoken words, but before he could learn more, the disease took him as well. Weiss stared at the mayor, his mouth twitching slightly. "Now see here," he said, "are you saying that we have been absorbed into your dream?" Well, yes, said the mayor. "I think you have." "Oh crap," said Arx. "So that means we've caught the death dream?" Before the mayor could confirm Arx's suspicion, Weiss exploded with rage. "Ridiculous, preposterous, completely unfathomable on every conceivable level. I don't even recall falling asleep." The mayor attempted to take Weiss's complaints in stride. "That's just how the death dream works," he said, brushing aside the book's remarks. "My remarks shall not be brushed aside, fool, and it would behoove you to remember that this world allows me to view all of its narration." The mayor twisted his mouth into an embarrassed grimace, then quickly changed the subject to who Arx had seen and what they had discussed since coming to the village. "Something there must have caused you to enter my dreams," said the mayor. "A certain conversation, a specific word, something." Arx and Weiss racked their brains but could find no easy solutions. There were simply too many words to consider, too much random chatter, too many meaningless conversations. Grimmer Weiss does not engage in meaningless conversations. The mere suggestion that Weiss chose his words carelessly seemed to sting his pride. "It does not seem to sting my pride, you bloated gasbag of a narrator. It has demolished it utterly." Irritated, Weiss looked skyward as if searching for answers in the heavens. "I was doing no such thing, just leave me alone already." The anger created by his harsh words bled over to Arx like a contagion. "Wait," said Arx suddenly, "did someone just say contagion?" "Yes, I believe so. What of it?" "Well, that villager told us to watch out for contagious words, right?" The mayor leaned forward with renewed interest, pushing a startled Weiss aside in the process. "Well, he must have said something, right?" asked the mayor. "Some specific combination of words. What was it?" "It was about dreaming, or something that dreams, or what the hell was it?" "A sheep?" cried Weiss, suddenly blurting out the first thing that popped into his head. The others stared at him for a moment before slowly shaking their heads. After a few more minutes of thought, Arx's face suddenly lit up. "I remember," he said. "Those who dream. That's what he said. I'm sure of it." At this, the mayor produced a thick sheaf of papers from his pocket. He flipped through them a few times before finally nodding his approval at Arx. "That sounds right," he said as a stray sheet of paper fluttered to the ground. "My notes also mentioned something about that. I bet it was the last thing you heard before you fell asleep." The mayor shook his head. His worn pencil stopped tracing lines across a lone piece of paper. "For the last month, I've done nothing but study the disease we call the death dream," he said. "I mean, I'm the mayor, right? It's my job to protect people from whatever comes along. But I never expected a couple of outsiders to start entering people's dreams." The mayor paused, a grimace crossing his face. "I should probably be taking notes or something." Weiss immediately fired back. "I applaud the force of will it takes to research a disease in your dreams," he said. "But perhaps we should bend your efforts to escaping this place instead of trying to understand it." The mayor's hand tightened around his pencil, snapping it off at the tip. "I've tried to escape. From the very first moment I realized I was locked inside my own dream. I've been looking for a way out, but I don't think it exists. I mean, this is my dream, right? If there was an exit, I'd know about it." He paused for a moment, his unfocused eyes staring at nothing. My village was beautiful, he said, to no one in particular, and it was filled with the most wonderful people you could ever hope to meet. But once this disease took hold, things changed. It's like someone took a sponge and soaked all the color out of our lives. I just want us to be whole again. I want us to be free. The mayor's voice took on a note of steely determination. And I won't stop trying until it happens. Arx nodded in agreement. Huh? Wait a second, I didn't nod. Why are you? Look, if we can be of any help, said Arx, just ask. Now hold on, I did not just say that. Silence, cried Weiss. The criminal looked from Arx to the mayor and back again, his face filling with confidence. Grimmer Weiss's face is always confident, thank you very much. Now see here, Mayor. You told us that nothing can exist in this dream without your knowing of it. But yet you seemed surprised to see us when we first arrived, yes? The mayor slowly raised his head, realization dawning on his face. Oh my god, he said. You're right. You're right. I had no idea you were coming. The human imagination is a limitless engine, said Weiss, and dreams are the fuel. If you can imagine an exit, then it must be so. With your permission, we shall search it out. Thank you, said the mayor. I don't know how I can repay you. Payment is not required. We are as eager as you to be done with this place. The mayor suddenly felt as if he could breathe again. He'd almost forgotten what it was like. Good luck, you two, he called at the departing forms of Arx and Weiss. We're all counting on you. As Arx slowly faded into the misty forest, the mayor was struck by a sense of déjà vu. I saw this man once before, he thought, but where? Arx's mood darkened as he trudged through the forest. Hours earlier, when the beauty of a place was still a new thing, he'd been confident they could get in, find the exit, and be home in time for dinner. But the deeper they went, the more the forest closed in around him. The mist made it difficult to see more than a foot in any direction, and moss-covered rocks seemed determined to twist his ankle. But the deeper they went, the more the forest closed in around him. Wait. Not a new page. More than once he'd been forced to steady himself on the rough bark of a tree, and his hands now left small trails of blood on everything he touched. Additionally, Weiss was proving to be a spectacularly poor traveling companion. Unhindered by either terrain or physical effort, he spent most of his time urging Arx to pick up the pace and grumbling about their slow progress. Finally, after Weiss muttered something about legless turtles being more adept at navigating the environment, Arx snapped. You know what, Weiss? He cried. Go to hell. We are stopping. I need to rest for a few minutes before I throw up. Arx leaned against the tree and tried to stretch the knots from his back. How can this stupid forest be so goddamn big? He muttered to himself. The moment the words tumbled from his mouth, a cacophony of insects sprang to life. As if infuriated by his lack of respect, every imaginable form of buzz, click, and hiss roared out with a volume that rattled his teeth. Arx slapped his hands over his ears and screamed to be heard. Weiss, what the hell is going on? Arx could see Weiss's mouth moving, but he might as well have been shouting in a tornado. The insects screamed, the forest howled, and then just as Arx's ears seemed ready to tear from his head and go running for cover, the sound diminished. Hesitantly, Arx removed a hand from his left ear and listened to the creatures of the woods. Sri, Sri, Sri. Shakakakakak, shakakakakak. Shikchi, shikchi. Woo-woo-woo-ma. Shik, chic, 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 chic. As the insect symphony dimmed another decibel, Arxas began to detect patterns in the sound. This isn't random, he thought. It's not just white noise, it's something else. The insects weren't just calling out, they were asking a question. 1 with it suffers, 2 with it is ideal, 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? By my pages, is this a riddle? I guess so. This kind of thing happens a lot in dreams, right? Maybe it's the key to getting out of this place. Then I leave it to you to answer. 1 with it suffers, 2 with it is ideal, 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? I guess it's a secret. Inwardly furious that Weiss left the task to him, Arx sighed and gave the only answer that made sense. It's a secret. Right? The sound of the insect stopped as suddenly as it began. The forest undergrowth parted before Arx like a rippling wave, opening a new path. These forest arthropods are making a road for us, said Weiss with glee. Pleased at passing the test, Arx moved on with new intensity. The path offered his body relief from the undergrowth, but gave even greater cheer to his mind. As long as they were on a path, their journey had a purpose. I guess the forest has accepted us, huh? Said Arx after a bit. Weiss spun around to face his companion. Do not mistake the will of this forest for some happy pet you can suddenly befriend. We have no idea where this path leads. As Weiss finished speaking, the pair turned a corner and found themselves facing a clear forest spring. Smiling, Arx picked up a small rock and sent it skipping across the surface of the water. Good heavens, said Weiss. His surprise was understandable. Each time the rock struck the surface of the water, a musical note rang out. When the rock finally stopped moving and sank to the bottom of the spring, the ripples it left behind came together to form words. I enter through the window, but I break no glass. When the night falls, I vanish. What am I? Absurdly easy, barked Weiss. Now answer it. Arx grit his teeth and tried not to reach out and strangle his companion. He's right, after all, this one is pretty easy. I enter through the window, but I break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? I guess it's sunlight. Sunlight. A plume of water suddenly burst from the spring. Sunlight filtered through the trees and reflected off the bloom, creating a shimmering rainbow that spanned the entire horizon. In all my years, said Weiss softly, I have never seen such a sight. Perhaps I have misunderstood the intentions of this place. Hey, look, cried Arx, waking Weiss from his daze. There's a house or something over there. Glancing in the direction of his friend's extended hand, Weiss saw a small cottage nestled among the trees. That's weird, isn't it, Weiss? I mean, who would build a house all the way out here? Arx walked over and pounded on the floor. After a minute of solid banging, the door cracked open and a small man peered out. His body was cloaked from neck to toe in a large black cape, while his face was obscured by mist. Began Arx, but before I could get any further, the cloaked man held a hand up and began speaking. I have 4 legs in the morning and 2 at noon, but I end the night with 3. What am I? Arx tried to ask the cloaked man who he was and what he was doing there, but he simply repeated the question. If we wish to engage this man in conversation, said Weiss, it seems we must answer his riddle. Yeah, I suppose, said Arx. Well, at least it's an easy one. I have 4 legs in the morning and 2 at noon, but I end the night with 3. What am I? Well, that's really easy. A man. The mist dissolved from the cloaked figure as he spoke a single word. Correct. With that, the man flung his garment aside, revealing his true identity. "You are the mayor," cried Arx. The small man slowly shook his head. "I am not the mayor, you know. Now listen to my words. Long ago I saw a version of you that was not yourself. You saw what? I am sorry, I don't understand a thing you just said. It will make sense in time. At present, I simply congratulate you on cracking the seal of a death tree. Now you must go to the man at the forest entrance." With that, the man turned on his heel and slammed the door behind him. As Arx watched, mist seeped up from the ground and enveloped the cottage, erasing it from existence. When Arx and Weiss returned to the forest entrance, they found the mayor leaning against a tree. As soon as he caught sight of the duo, he sprang to his feet and scrambled over to them. "Good gravy," he cried. "You made it! You actually made it back!" His left hand grasped Arxas and pumped it so fiercely it threatened to dislodge from the socket, while his right seized Weiss by the cover and swung him through the air. "God by the heavens! Stop shaking me, fool! We have not even told you if we were successful or not." The mayor smiled proudly and shook his head. "I'm just happy you're alive. I didn't think I'd ever see you again." Arx withdrew himself from the mayor's eager handshake with a slight smile. "We broke the Death Dream seal," he said. "At least I think we did." The mayor's face beamed as Arx filled him in on the details. When the tale was done, the three of them laid down on the forest ground and fell asleep. Wait a second. That's crazy. Why would we just lay down and go to sleep? This is one hell of a story. Seize your endless prattle and go to sleep, fool. Fighting against the rules of this place is futility itself. Arx and the mayor obediently reclined atop the grassy earth. "Have you forgotten?" continued Weiss. "It is words that control the Death Dream. Words that allow us to move from place to place. No matter how unnatural they seem, the words are absolute. Therefore, if the words tell us to sleep, then sleep we shall. And once we do, the story will continue." With that, the trio found their eyes growing heavy, their breath slowing. "This is the first time," began the mayor. "The first time I have felt tired since I was imprisoned here." His words were cut off by a loud, long yawn, and he remembered nothing more. They might have slept for an hour or a year. When they awoke, things had a slightly more real quality to them. The mist felt thicker, the leaves greener. It was clear that they had awakened from their dream. Arx shook the mayor's shoulder gently. "Good news," he said. "We made it." "Oh wow," said the mayor in an odd voice. "We did. I am back." He blinked once, twice, as though not quite believing the sight before him. "You two have no idea how much this means." The Death Dream had started to spread through our village, and I wanted to, well, I thought I could figure out how to stop it, but I guess that wasn't the case. I must have caught the disease and become trapped in my own dream. The mayor started to stand, then collapsed back to the earth. He stared at his legs as if trying to remember how they worked, then glanced at Arx and shrugged. Without a word, the fighter reached down and pulled the mayor to his feet. Real life may take some getting used to. A wry smile crossed the mayor's lips. "You shall relearn in short order, I am sure," said Weiss. "For now, you should return to your home and rest." "No," said the mayor, swaying on unsteady feet. "No, I can't. Some of the villagers are still trapped in the Death Dream. I have to save them." The mayor slowly made his way to the divine tree in the center of the village, then bowed his head and prayed silently. "This is a holy tree," he explained when the prayer was finished. "It's the guardian of our village's history and memories. Superstition will only make our mission harder," muttered Weiss. "We should not put our faith in the gods." The mayor shook his head. "Not the gods, the words. Legend says that our tree is home to a powerful magic known as a sealed verse." Arx and Weiss could not contain their surprise. It seemed the goal had been found in the most unexpected of places. I say, muttered voice. This is certainly a stroke of luck. As the three of them said their goodbyes, Arx mentioned the strange man who had given them the third riddle and the mysterious words he had left them with. I once saw a version of you that was not yourself, muttered the mayor. What in the world? Lost in thought, he stared into space for a long moment. You know, he said softly, this is going to sound weird, but I had a feeling I'd seen you before too. Arx tried to keep a straight face and failed, but the mayor didn't seem to notice. Déjà vu, right? Anyway, I figure it's just some kind of illusion created by the Death Dream. It probably doesn't mean anything. Arx gave the mayor a nod and a smile, but inwardly his thoughts were racing. There's something wrong about the mayor and his words. I wish I understood what the hell was going on here. That riddle would prove to be the most difficult one of all. Oh, thank you so much. Now I can finally return to a normal life. This is one of the most bizarre diseases I have ever encountered. I know, that's why I have to help the other villagers, no matter what. Obtain the sealed verse, obtain dark execution magic. Summon magical spike from a crown to impale enemies, charged to increase the number of spikes. Alright. Just in time. Oh. Still a little bit of dialogue. Yes, all a touch too easy if you ask me. It's almost as if someone was guiding us to this village. You think too much, Weiss. Okay, but now I'm gonna make a cut here. I need to drink something after telling that story, and I hope you enjoyed it. It was certainly fun to me. And see you in the next part.